Even some of these lower level guys. This guy down here, Enrique Gonzalez. Enrique Gonzalez was a one-star recruit. How many one-star recruits do you know are 60 overall quarterbacks? That is not a thing that happens. Most one-star recruits are like 47 overall. What is up, everybody? It is Jake back with the MF Film Room. Thank you so much for being here. If you want to be updated on all things EA College Football, hit that red subscribe button, hit the like button, and follow me on Twitter and Instagram. If you like college football content, go subscribe to my other channel, Master Football with Jake Posey. Link is in the description. But enough about all that EA College Football content. Let's go. All right, guys, I went through my archetypes for the quarterbacks just the other day. I've got my running backs coming out this upcoming Monday. And somebody had a comment that was actually pretty cool. Somebody commented on one of my videos, and they were like, yo, dude, you actually taking a gadget wide receiver, putting in the quarterback can actually make a pretty cool type of player. So I was going through it, and I was thinking, well, what are the types of position switches on the offensive side of the ball that I really enjoy, that I like, that I think are cool, that are kind of borderline crazy? And I've got a couple of them that we're going to discuss right here. All right, so we're going through the chapters of this video. We're going to go through, obviously, as you've seen me before. I always make sure I go through my method. Then we're going to review each position switch, including the positives and negatives. There's 4 of them here. There's going to be the gadget wide receiver to quarterback, the east-west playmaker as the athlete, not the running back. That's for a specific reason. To a wide receiver. Then the contested specialist, wide receiver and the athlete, both to tight end. And then any O-lineman to a pass protector. So that's a position switch, but it's technically an archetype switch. I'm going to go through how to do that. It's actually a little bit crazy. It requires some specific stuff, but it's pretty cool. And then ultimately, I'm going to be ranking them according to the use case. Let's get into that method right now. All right, so recruiting on offense. You guys, if you watched my videos before, you know how it is. We're going to be recruiting with Alabama because they are so dang dominant at recruiting offensive players here. We're going to try and recruit at least 3 from each position for this the following star levels. Now, maybe not necessarily for each position, but we're going to try and get maybe 4, sometimes 2. It just depends. As many 5s as we can have. As you know, the 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1 stars. There are few 5 stars, so we might not be able to get 3 or 4 of them. For a contested specialist wide receiver, we're going to have wide receivers and athletes. There actually is a difference in how they come over. Again, we're going to attempt to find as many as possible for both of those. And then the O-line archetype switch is going to require a couple things here. They're big asterisks here. So it's going to require manual progression. I know that a lot of people don't like that. Some people don't use it. I actually personally don't mind. I think the cool thing about being a college football coach is you actually have the ability to mold your players into a piece of clay. The pros, it's a little bit different. Average coaching tenure in the NFL is like 3 years, so coaches don't really have the time to develop you, even if that's the best thing they can do. There's a reason why the Packers, who don't have a crazy owner, have had 30 consecutive years of Pro Bowl caliber quarterback play, except for that one year that Aaron Rodgers got injured. But they are able to be a little bit more calm, and they're able to actually progress some of their players like colleges actually can do. I know NIL kind of throws it into a little bit of a tizzy there, but to a degree, you're still able to develop, especially those lower level recruits. But again, it's going to require manual progression and 2 off seasons, one to train and the other to switch to the new archetype. And also with this, that process isn't 100%. And we have to review the recruits' ratings after signing them. Again, I'll show you what I'm talking about there. And then we're going to attempt to sign all of them and review how they turned out. So without further ado, let's get into that first position. All right, so the first position, and it's pretty obvious here. All of these guys, as you see, 5'9", maybe taller here, 6'2", 5'11". They're all pure runners. Every single one of these guys here is a gadget wide receiver who switched over to quarterback. And you can see the fact that ultimately these guys up here at the top, they're pretty fast, they're pretty quick. Some of them even have pretty strong arms. This one was actually a pretty cool position switch because it's pretty consistent. Again, every single one of the gadget wide receivers who switched it over turned into a pure runner, and they're pretty fast. Again, there's a lot of cool things with these guys. There's also some negatives too. So obviously, you see there at the top, gadget to quarterback. It's always going to be a pure runner. I signed a zillion of them. I signed 4s, 3s, 2s. I signed I think I signed 1.5. Every single one of those guys was a pure runner. Then when switched over from gadget wide receiver to quarterback. So the positives, again, most of them go up in overall rating after the switch. As you saw there was a couple of guys that were like insanely good. I'm going to let you know these guys were not 80 overall quarterbacks, but this is an 80 overall quarterback, 80 overall quarterback, 79 overall quarterback. These guys were absolute dogs when they came over. Even some of these lower level guys. This guy down here, Enrique Gonzalez. Enrique Gonzalez was a one-star recruit. There are how many one-star recruits do you know are 60 overall quarterbacks? That is not a thing that happens. Most one-star recruits are like 47 overall, but when he switched over from wide receiver, he then also became 60 overall. So again, most go up overall in rating after the switch, and they are also much faster than the equivalent pure runner recruits at the equal star level. So as we went over with Enrique before, Enrique was a one-star recruit. He's got 84 speed, 84 acceleration as a quarterback. This guy's a 3-star pure runner, and this guy only has 79 speed and 87 acceleration. So again, a 1-star gadget wide receiver switch to quarterback is just as fast, if not faster, than a 3-star pure runner quarterback. It's pretty crazy when you see that. Another cool thing about these guys is they are closer to getting all abilities than pure run recruits at equal star level. So this is Chuck Hall, and he's a 3-star recruit. But if you look at his physical abilities for the pure runner, he's close to getting that, reasonably close to getting that. That one's going to require a couple points, but not too many points, and he's close to getting that. He's a 3-star recruit, and he's basically almost there. He just requires a little bit of time in the oven, and he's going to get to that level. And then finally, among the positives there, again, their arm strength among the higher level recruits is pretty dang good. So I say pretty dang good. Again, pretty dang good. Not 98, but you can see this guy over here. So this is Frank Ajera-Tutu. He has got 88 throw power, 89 throw power, 89 throw power for these guys right there. This guy down here has got 86. 84 starts to drop off a little bit there. But among the higher level recruits, you have that higher level throw power. All right, and finally getting to the negatives. And unfortunately here, like accuracy is like bad, and skill caps are egregious from some of the position switches. I mean, accuracy is bad. So this guy's a perfect example. This guy's one of the best players we have here. He's 80 overall as a quarterback, but among his accuracy rating tab, right, you see there, he's only got 7 cubes to add. If you assume that he's got 7 cubes, so you assume 2 per accuracy on that. That's a rough estimation there. That actually might be a little high. But let's just say it's 2. So 7 times 2 is 14, which means Frank Ajera-Tutu, who's going to be really, really awesome, is going to cap out at 58 throw under pressure. He's going to cap out at 85 deep throw accuracy is pretty good. He's going to cap out at 76 short accuracy. Unfortunately, that's just not very good for somebody who wants to throw the ball more than 5 times a game. So all of it, and literally every single one, their accuracy is bad. And even worse than that, you saw how many caps, the skill caps on those. Basically, you're screwing yourself on the growth potential for any lower level recruit. I mean, some of the lower level recruits are terribly inaccurate and have no real hope as anybody who's going to throw the ball more than 10 times a game. I mean, think about Zach O'Toole right here. Zach O'Toole has about 7 cubes there, so 14 plus. So his throw under pressure is going to max out at 48. That's awful. And for Zach O'Toole, Zach O'Toole is one of the better recruits. This is Stephen Cullen. He's a 1-star. He's going to, oh my God, he's got maybe 8, so 16. So he's going to max out at 71 short accuracy. Again, these guys, do not expect to turn these guys into Peyton Manning, into Tom Brady. They're so inaccurate. So that last point there is a negative because it says you better just use them as a pure runner because unfortunately, even the higher level recruits are going to cap out. They're going to have terrible throw under pressure. They've got massive gaps in what they have there. Also, another negative here too among pure runner quarterbacks, I actually forgot to add this in here, is that pure runner quarterbacks cannot train play action. So they're inaccurate. They can't train play action. They've got incredible skill caps, but they're fast and they can get all the running abilities. That's basically why you would do this. Again, there's a reason for it. There's a use case, and I'll go over that in my rankings later on. All right, up next is the East-West Playmaker athlete, only the athlete, switching over to a wide receiver. Now, with this one, it was pretty cool because I know people say, why'd you do the athletes? The reason why I did the athletes, and this is going to come out in one of my videos that's coming on later on, athletes have insane release, 83, 82, 82. This is like a physical route runner or a contested specialist level of release. These guys have a lot of release. They've already got some moves. A lot of them got some speed. This is a pretty fun little position switch. Now, for the East-West Playmaker athlete to the wide receiver, now remember here, it's elusive route runner or speedster. So I've noticed something. Among the higher level recruits, they were the elusive route runners. The lower level recruits were speedsters. Let's get into the positives, of that. You saw there on the positives, they all have super high releases among all levels of recruits. I'm talking 4 stars, 3 stars, 2 stars, 1 stars. All of them have like 75 or above release, which now you say, 75 is not that good. Well, it is good if you're a 1 star. If it's 85 release and you're a 3-star recruit, that is incredible as a wide receiver. Also, you know there that their elusiveness ratings are all high. Again, they're all running backs. It's very easy to get 360 and sidestep abilities for the elusive route runners. Now, with that too, you also have the fact they've got high carrying. Again, their carrying is really high because they're running backs. And then I want to make sure we're clear. Among the higher level recruits, they're all elusive route runners. The lower level recruits are all speedsters. I did find one speedster wide receiver that looked incredible. So as you can see, there's a clear delineation here. For the most part, up among the higher level guys here, you're able to see that most of those it's literally a cutoff there. So it's speedster, 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 elusive route runner, elusive route runner, elusive route runner, elusive route runner. And now these elusive route runners, these guys are like 5 stars and 4 stars and so on. But then as you go down to these lower level recruits, this guy right here is going to be a 3-star. Now, it just depends. Some of the 3 stars can, some of the 3 stars can't. For the most part, most 3 stars and lower are those speedsters, whereas the higher ones are elusive route runners. I think it's because of the abilities. There is one guy who looked incredible. This guy right here, David DeMarco. This was one of the exceptions. This dude looked incredible. First of all, he's already pretty fast. He's got 5 cubes he can put into speed. He's got star dev trait. So he's going to be able to get takeoff. He's going to be able to get shifty. He might be able to get recoup, but he should be able to get that. He's going to be absolutely awesome. So those are the good. Now, there's a couple things here that we need to go over on the negative. So unfortunately, they're still not very good at route running, and we'll go over that in a second here. And you also see the higher level recruits are elusive route runners, and the lower level recruits are speedsters. So this creates a vicious cycle here because as recruits get worse, they get slower. That mostly makes sense. As they get slower, they have a harder time getting speedster abilities like takeoff and shifty. So the better ones are faster, the worse ones are slower. As they get worse, they go from elusive route runner to speedster. As you go from elusive route runner to speedster, it's harder to get those abilities as you're getting slower. So it creates this vicious doom loop where unfortunately like a 2-star athlete who's 84 speed has no chance of getting takeoff or any of those abilities for like takeoff or shifty. Also, if you look at the lower level recruits, I mean, this is kind of true amongst all of these positions. They have insanely bad skill caps among the lower level recruits. And again, even worse than that, the higher level recruits, elusive route runners, they can't train catch in traffic. So these guys, you see how they're only 73 overall? I mean, they're cool. They're cool players, but they've got like 70 deep route running and 72 and 69 and 68 and 73 short and 70 medium and 67 deep. They're really not that good at route runners. Now, I know that some positions they might be pretty good, but they're not that good at route running. Among the lower level recruits, I mean, some of these guys down here, these guys they're faster. Obviously, they're speedster wide receivers, but some of their skill caps. This guy's a 2-star. I mean, he's absolutely screwed. He's done on quickness, so there goes. He's a speedster, so you can never get shifty. You can never get takeoff. His elusiveness has already got some caps. His IQ is actually the only one that has a few caps. Route running's not that good. Hands aren't that good. Unfortunately, it kind of seems like you're kind of screwing yourself among the lower level receivers. Again, my boy David DeMarco is the rare exception, but I just don't like the fact you have that there. Now, the speedsters have one benefit. We also went over the fact that speedsters have the ability to actually train for catching traffic. So you see they're under hands, they can actually catch in traffic. Unfortunately, when we go up to our dear friends, the elusive route runners, they don't. And if you think I'm lying about it, let's just check it out. All right, no catching traffic, 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 and no catching traffic. So unfortunately, the better level recruits can't train catching traffic. The lower level recruits can't get most of their abilities because of the vicious doom loop of speed to their ability. So there's a lot of issues with this position switch. All right, up next here is the contested specialist. Now, I did the wide receivers and the athletes to tight ends for vertical threats or physical route runners. That will be something that we will go over there in a second here because among all these players here, among the positives, first of all, the the physical route runners or the vertical threats for the tight ends, there's no real indication as to what you're going to get. We're going to get in that in a second here. The good thing is I'm telling you, they can all run, and the higher level recruits can reasonably get takeoff for vertical threats, and athlete vertical threats can train run blocking and deep route running versus the physical route runners. All right, so these guys were some of the best we had. This guy was a 5-star. I mean, 5 stars are incredible, but these guys right here, these are the tight ends. Now, the one thing you can tell is I made sure all of the contested specialist wide receivers don't have athlete next to their name, but all the athletes do. So this guy is Nicholas Klutz, athlete. This guy is Deontay Okine, athlete. So you're able to see all of those things there. So for the positives here, and again, it was pretty easy here, that they all can run. 89, 92, 86. I mean, even among the lower level dudes, these guys down here were not very good. I mean, this guy right here is one of the worst players. He's an athlete. He is, I want to say he's a 1-star, maybe a 2-star. So he's a 1-star athlete, and he's got 82 speed and 84 acceleration. Like I said, all of them can run. Among the higher levels here, especially with the fact, now one of the negatives that we're going to go over in a second is the fact that you don't really know what you're going to get. Sometimes it's a physical route runner, sometimes it's a vertical threat. You just don't really know. Now the cool thing is the higher level recruits actually have the ability among the vertical threats to get the takeoff ability. Takeoff is, especially for tight end, takeoff is such a hard rating to get because you have to have 92 or 95 acceleration. This guy actually is capped out. So if you can actually have the caps there, they actually have a chance at getting it. Now, the problem is sometimes it's capped out there, so you can't actually get it. But for these guys, the hardest ability in all of the game is vertical threat, takeoff ability. These guys actually have a fighting chance depending upon their skill caps. So as you saw there, they all can run. The higher level recruits can reasonably, you saw that top guy there couldn't get it. And then the athlete vertical threats can actually train blocking and deep route running. I want to make sure I verify that with you just to make sure you know I'm not lying. So this is a vertical threat tight end over here. He has the ability to train deep route running, and he has the ability to train run blocking. This is a physical route runner. He doesn't have the ability to train deep route running, and I don't see run block here and deep route running. I don't see run block here and deep route running. I see pass blocking. I don't see run blocking or deep route running, and I don't see run blocking or deep route running. That is one of the issues with the physical route runners. So for the negatives, and the negatives are pretty high here. I mean, there's no guarantee you're going to get the archetype you're going to get. Physical route runners cannot train run block or deep route running. The contested specialist wide receiver recruits have huge skill caps for blocking. And then also another one here is like 6'2", 186 is not a tight end. It doesn't really impact the game. It doesn't care. I mean, if they're 6'2", 186 and they have 85 strength, the defensive lineman's probably not going to know. I know they put some things in the game about like for height, for this and that, but for the most part, it's not realistic. I don't really like that part of the game, so that's just one thing about me. So Vernon Papo, the athlete, he's a 3-star vertical threat. He actually has a good ability to add a lot of points here to the blocking ability. And this is Chet Smythe. He's not an athlete. He is a vertical threat, but he has a giant number of blocking. I mean, again, they're both the same level, but for some reason, Chet has a huge amount of blocks that are missing. I did notice that when you switch over from wide receiver to tight end, whereas switching over from athlete, the athletes typically are a little bit more of a moldable piece of clay, whereas the wide receivers weren't. Hence, you're seeing the reason why there's a lot of skill caps for those guys. And like I said before, I love the fact you can be creative in college football, but there's nobody in FBS college football who asks Vernon Papo, who's a vertical threat, who has to block, who's 6'2", 186. There might be the occasional guy here or there, but they're rare, or they're tight end in name only, which is what these guys could technically be. Again, it doesn't really impact the game, but the purist in me is like, man, this is lame, dude. What are you doing? All right, and last but not least, we have our pass protector offensive lineman switch. Now, this is technically an archetype switch. It's a crazy switch, but it's an archetype switch. I can basically turn with a couple things. It's going to require 2 years. It's going to require 1 year to recruit them, 1 year to train them, and then you're going to have to switch them. So that's going to require 2 off seasons to kind of do this. All right, getting into these guys, you can see here we've got a raw strength, all the red shirts, by the way, a raw strength, well-rounded, raw strength. I mean, I've got lots to go through. I'm not going to show you and go through training of each of them, but we're going to kind of go through there to kind of see. I didn't do any centers. I got a zillion guards for some reason, but all these guys, none of them are pass protectors. I'm going to switch them over. This guy actually, that quick drop ability is going to be cool that we're going to go over here in a sec, because the cool thing about these guys is, again, depending upon their skill caps, you can turn all these guys with manual progression into pass blockers. So this guy, Prince, I'm not going to attempt to say his last name there, but he's a perfect example because he's pretty balanced here. But if I take one off season and I pour a bunch of points into his pass blocking, he's going to turn out to be a pass blocker when I switch him from the right side to the left side. And this guy, this guy's amazing. First of all, I had the hardest time finding the quick drop ability. It's super hard. So quick drop is just improved pass block movement. You have to have basically like 70 speed and 84 acceleration. This dude is a 5-star, already has it, and he's got a lot of opportunity to put points into his pass blocking. If I do so, I can switch him over to the left side of the line, put all of my points into pass blocking. He'll keep quick drop because that's an offensive line ability as well, and then he'll have the ability to add a bunch of pass blocking offensive line abilities after that. It's actually a pretty sick combination. And this dude's a perfect example. This guy's got star dev trait. He's only a 3-star recruit, but he's an agile. So we're going to have the ability. One, he's got a huge ability to put points into his pass blocking. So when we switch him over, he's going to be able to get a lot of those pass blocking abilities. And he's pretty close. Again, 70 and 84 for speed and acceleration gives you the ability to get platinum quick drop. This guy's going to be able to do it. Might take more than 1 year. May take a couple years to do that. But he's going to be able to have that even as a 3-star recruit. So here's one of the guys that's going to be tough for. So for Percy, this is where it's not 100% to do this, is because when I switch him over, I'm only going to be able to max him out on his pass block. Might not get, again, if you're thinking, so he's got 6 cubes, 12, so 70 pass block versus 68 run block. That's not a big difference. He's probably going to be one where if I switch him over, he will probably not be a pass blocker when I switch him over. And another thing that kind of throws it back is that the raw strengths are the hardest ones. Basically, all you got to do is switch him over from one side to the other and put a lot of points into pass block. However, the raw strength guys, their strength is high enough to where they're the hardest ones to kind of switch. I know the agiles, if you put points into them, they're actually pretty easy, but the raw strengths are pretty hard. The well-roundeds are obviously well-rounded, as they say, but the raw strengths, their pass blocking abilities, and the emphasis on strength, they're an issue when you try and switch them over. I'm betting Percy's not going to be able to switch over and be a pass protector. All right, now we're done with training. I'm not going to make you watch me give all the individual points. It took me a long time to do that. But the cool thing is I put all the points for Lorenzo Wellingham. This is the 5-star. He's all into pass block. I actually didn't touch this because he already has the max there. But I gave him the max of this. He's basically almost maxed out. He's a much better pass blocker than he is a run blocker. So when we switch him, he's probably going to switch over from being a agile right tackle to a pass protector left tackle. I did the same thing with Prince. Prince is a well-rounded. Now I'm going to switch him over. I might switch him to guard just so he can play or something like that. But you're able to see the fact that he's got a bunch of pass block versus, his run block's still pretty good. So this actually might be a tough switch here. I'm betting he still switches over from well-rounded to pass protector, but we're going to still check in on that. Remember our boy Matt Eckert, so he's a 3-star. Now he's a star dev trait. Now what I did was I made sure I put enough points into pass blocking that I think it's better. So 86 pass block versus 74 run block, so he should be a pass blocker. I also put enough points into it, so he's going to be able to get platinum quick drop when he switches over, in addition to some of those abilities that he's going to have a chance when I switch him over to the other side. Now, Percy Williams is going to be a difficult case here. This is a case where it's probably not going to work. I gave him all the points here that I could. The problem is he's got 69 pass block, and he's got 68 run block, so he's probably not going to register as a pass blocker. Again, he's a raw strength. We're going to try, but I'm betting he doesn't do it, though. All right, now it's time for the position switching. As you can see here, we've got our boy Lorenzo Wellingham. He's a right tackle. He's an agile, but when we're going to switch him, we're going to switch him over to a left tackle. He keeps his quick drop, and now he's a pass protector. We also have our boy Prince. Now, Prince is a right tackle. He's a well-rounded. When we switch him, he's going to be a pass protector as well. I'm actually going to put him at guard just because I want him to play next to my boy. We got my boy Matt Eckert, so he's only a 3-star, but he's an agile right guard. Now, he's a star dev trait. When we switch him, I'm hoping that I can switch him over, and he's going to be a pass protector. So you'll see he's got all 5 offensive line positions. The only one he's an agile is his current position. I'm going to put him at center because we actually don't have a center. And now we're going to come to one of our failed experiments here. We've got our boy Parker Wellingham, and he is a raw strength guard. I'm betting, though, when I switch him, he's going to be, he's still raw strength. We just didn't have enough points to switch him over. I'll put him at right guard or something like that. I don't care. And as you can see here, all of the sophomores here, everybody who's a sophomore redshirt was originally not a pass protector. So we have one now that is a pass protector. Raw strength, pass protector, pass protector. Unfortunately, sometimes the experiment fails. You see how we have pass protector, pass protector. This guy's still an agile. We've got pass protector, pass protector, pass protector, pass protector, pass protector. I know that we've got a couple failures over here. Pass protector, raw strength. And then we've got pass protector, raw strength, pass protector, raw strength, pass protector. So it's a pretty good experiment when you look at it, and it's pretty cool what the players can turn out to be. And I mean, at the end of the day, I know these guys, some of these guys are 4- and 5-star players here, but look what you can do. These are all sophomore red shirts. So this guy right here has platinum quick drop, platinum wear down, gold PA shield, strong grip, and pocket shield. And remember, he's a pass protector, originally an agile right tackle. This guy is my left guard. So the previous guy was on left tackle. This guy's my left guard. He's got platinum pocket shield, platinum PA shield, and platinum wear down, and he's 94 overall. This guy is my three-star agile right guard, who's now is at pass protector center. He's got platinum quick drop and he's got silver wear down. He's only 83 overall, but he's still pretty good. Again, sophomore red shirt. He's got silver pocket shield, PA shield, and wear down, and he's 90 overall. And last but not least, again, sophomore red shirt, gold pocket shield, gold PA shield, silver wear down, and he's 88 overall. So all those guys, now I know it's Alabama and they've got some higher level training, but every single one of them went from a non-pass protector to a dominant pass protector with this trick. So as you see there, again, so the switch is any O-line archetype switch to pass protector. So the positives, again, you can get a dominant pass blocking O-line as a whole. So you saw that I was left tackle to right tackle. They either had quick drop or they had wear down or they had gold this or silver that or whatever it is, all at sophomore redshirt years. Now I know some of them are 5- and 4-star players there. There's a couple 3-stars in there too. Also, you can get a hard ability, the quick drop, relatively easily with the athlete agile center switches. So I did do athlete agile center. That right guard that I switched over to center was one of those. Again, he's got star dev trait. You can give them quick drop. Quick drop requires a lot of points. You can get it, though, with this little position switch here. The negative, though, unfortunately, you saw that. It requires time. You have to wait. You have to really invest. It also requires manual progression. Remember here, you might be able to get, depending upon the skills, their skill caps, but it's a gamble. The problem is sometimes it doesn't even work. You saw that one right. A lot of those guys there, I want to say I was like 80% successful, maybe like 75% successful. Some of those sophomore redshirt offensive linemen were still raw strength. One of them I think was still agile, maybe 2, something like that. So it's not 100% because their skill caps might hurt you. And remember there that, like I said, that's that last one there. There's no guarantee that the skill caps, they have the proper skill caps to do so. But I still like doing it though. All right, and finally, here we have our rankings. So, unfortunately, here is the rankings are kind of weird because I wasn't as in love with these as I was with other things here. I'm actually going to go through a defensive one, and then I might do an offense to defense kind of one coming up soon here. But for me, obviously, number one, there is any offensive lineman to pass protector archetype. I think that's the best offensive position switch you can do. I pass block a lot there. It requires manual progression and a small amount of luck, but again, it is awesome. The small amount of luck is just making sure they don't have those skill cap progressions there. Then up next is the East-West Playmaker to wide receiver. You're going to have moves and be really high release, but there are some limitations. Again, if they're an elusive route runner, they're not going to have catch in traffic. Their route running is not very good anyway. And as you saw, the doom loop of the worse they are, the more they're likely to be a speedster. The more likely they are to be a speedster, the slower they are. The slower they are, the less likely they are to have speedster abilities. Up next is the Gadget wide receiver to pure runner quarterback. Again, you're either a bell cow as a quarterback, as a runner, or a wildcat quarterback that won't get worn down. That's what they are. If you're expecting to throw the ball 50 times a game with those types of players, you're absolutely insane. And then ultimately, the last one here is the contested specialist wide receiver and athlete to tight end. They're fast, but there's no guarantee which archetype you get, and it's unrealistic in a lot of cases. Like I said, it's not bad, but it's just, I think it's kind of lame when you have a 187-pound tight end. I just don't, this team did it one time. I don't care. All right, guys, you saw my opinions there. Those are offensive switches only. We haven't done offense to defense. We haven't done defense to defense. It's just offensive switches. Those are 4 crazy ones that you're able to see in the game. Again, those are mine. What are some that you like? Do you like the ones I have, or do you like the progressions that I'm going through there? Do you like my ideas? You guys get in the comments and let me know. All right, guys, that's it. Thank you so much for being here. Please like, share, comment, subscribe. Do all that stuff. I really appreciate it. It's it for me, guys. I'll see you guys later. I am out.